What's up, y'all? We're going to be starting in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Multicast from the Profo 1 channel and the Bboy Network channel. The trades / Bboy Network reacts. Tell a friend. That's what's going on.
I had it. I was in barbecue with him in salsa. And ain't nobody
We're gonna start in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let us know where you're from. We got a great show today, y'all. We're gonna be talking about the industry and the underground. Let us know where you're from. Lowell, Massachusetts in the house. Tell a friend. The trades, Bboy Network reacts. We're listening to sounds of DJ Flag, slowed down, screwed version. We're gonna start the show. We're waiting for people to come in. We're waiting for people to come in.
Yo, what's the deal? This is Gravity, representing the Monster Energy B-Boys. I want to give a huge shout outs to my boy Fresco, who is always keeping the energy alive, man. He is nasty killing the game, man. Keep that shit up, brother. Love you. Peace.
All right, we're gonna start the show in 1 minute. Here's the countdown. This video has been brought to you by Break Connect. Go to the website and register. Check out what they have to offer at breakconnect.com. Yo, what's up? This is Shadow Rockin' Pro 41 of the Florida Gangs and Knuckleneck Tribe, and you're watching the trades / Bboy Network reacts. Yes, we are simultaneously airing the show on the Bboy Network and the Profo 1 channel. I haven't really did this. I hollered at the boy Josh, and he said, hey, you know what? Why don't you just air both of it at the same time? Because I was like, originally, I wasn't going to do any reactions. It was going to be just the discussion that I was planning to have. But I was like, hey, you know what? Like I told Josh, like, hey, you know, like, so I have this going on. He's like, why don't you do both? Why don't you air both? I was like, that could be the solution. So I said, why not? You know what I'm saying? So what's up, y'all? Let us know where you're from. What crew, what city and then we could start getting into the discussion. Before we do that, I just want to say this is for the Pro 41 channel. 89% of you are not subscribed. Basically, I'm at 1,600 subscribers right here in the B-Boy Network. It's at 72K. Obviously, way more than I'm used to. But the other thing is, if there's 72K subscribers, how come, the most views I got in the B-Boy Network Reacts is 600? I mean, obviously, you have to like, share, and, I don't know the numbers on B-Boy Network, but I know on the Pro 41 channel, you guys are watching. You guys got me there. So subscribe to my channel on YouTube, the Pro 41 channel, where I do more this type style interviews, right? So please like, share, and subscribe. Let's see the chat real quick. Papa Ricks, what's up? Yeah, so, wherever you're watching, it's all dope. I'm going to make a quick clip on real life on my Instagram, and you can find me on there at PROFO_FLGZ. All right, now that being said, so, since I've been doing the B-Boy Network Reacts with Pro 41, I've been talking a lot, about this underground scene. And I was actually just in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I judged an event called One of One, and I was judging with Brave Monk and Bigo Pepsi. And I was talking to Soul Rain, DJ Soul Rain, and he actually caught the show. And he was just talking about, I watched that whole thing about this underground, and I'm kind of seeing it too. And it's dope that you're covering it. And it seems like the more and more I'm on this show, specifically this show right here on the B-Boy Network channel, we keep talking about it. And one of the guys that kept, I was kind of hollering at last year, and he has a really good event called The Up and Comer, and we've always been talking about like this future, and with no intention of it, kind of this underground scene or league kind of forming, and it formed organically. And so we both noticed like this common trend that's been happening. We're already in August in 2023, and yet there's certain events that weren't, didn't have major sponsorship, but they come out in droves, and these kids represent. And this is the first time this has really happened in the scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce our guest, and we're going to talk about how his theories of why this scene is now this scene that kind of came out of nowhere in a way. Like, again, being an elder, we would always talk smack about a jam and still show up, right? And then do stuff like call out the judges or something like that or whatever. But we still show up. This is the first time people aren't showing up to certain events because this new underground, this new underground scene. So without further ado, representing Full Force and Astro Club all the way from San Diego, we got my man El Prod. Why are you laughing?
Why you laughing? The Astro Club plug. I like it.
Hell yeah,
cool.
Dude! You gotta give a shout out. Man. If we're talking underground, you might as well talk about Astro Club being a part of it.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's crazy because I didn't realize it's been about a year since you were on the trades. Like I didn't realize that. And yeah, it's almost been a year. And the thing is, like not here on B-Boy Network, but on the Pro 41 channel, that's still like the highest as far as lives I got was with El Prod. You know what I'm saying? So let's do it again. Yeah, for sure. So, we talked a lot about this. Okay, so it started actually from there, right? Like you were on my show on the trades, and then, you noticed I was doing the Profos pick thing.
Yes.
So then you're like, hey, you want to collab where like, I have this up and comer where I'm having the kids that are like you're about to start to see, and why don't you do a Profos pick up and comer series with it? I was like, word, okay, yeah, sure, no problem, man. I mean, that's kind of like the whole thing, and stuff that I'm collaborating with an event. Right. And that was February 2023. Going into the 2023, we're starting to see this trend where it's almost like the people that you had on the uppercomer previous and of this year are the ones like leading off the charge, man. Like for real, like you had like more, like yeah, dude, right? You're like, you know, Elephant Graveyard. You had at least 3 people from Elephant Graveyard, like rap, like really like
Juicebox, all killing it right now,
dude. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. And then even like, you know, Capital and Kobe, they were on the up and comer, and they just won the B Jam, the Be Eternal Jam this past weekend. So okay, so all right, so I'm going to ask you, what do you think is going on? Can you explain like this phenomenon that's going on that's never happened in the breaking scene?
Well, you know, first thing I want to say is the underground as we know it is not like, there isn't a place. There's not like a specific group of people. It's like, it's a mindset. All right. So it really comes down to the people that are now leading the charge, like you just mentioned, are essentially my generation, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. And those are the people that grew up with the elders doing the same type of behavior you talked about right before I got on, where it was like, yo, I'm still going to pull up to these jams, even if I hate it. I hate the quality of it. I don't like the promoter. The judges are whack. The MC sucks. I'm still going to show up though. And then I might call them out. But nowadays we're like, yo, hold on. I'm not wasting $25 on something I don't actually believe in. So that's just the first thing that I want to put out there. Like,
so you would just say, is this the positives of oversaturation? Do you think this is a positive?
I want to say yes. I think it's a positive of oversaturation, but also it's people finally determining that not every jam has to be attended just because it exists. You want to go someplace where you're going to have a good time, where you believe in the product, where you can see that the product is like being taken care of accordingly by the person that's hosting it. Like these are all factors that determine whether or not you're going to get a good attendance. Right. You mentioned it too, like some events that maybe people have expected to have really good numbers or expected to be a certain type of quality because of the funding behind it. They have not performed very well this year. Hey, we all know it. We've all seen it. And the events that have thrived are the ones that have maybe newer promoters, maybe promoters that don't have the same funding, but they're people that are tapped into the scene and that give the same type of love that they want to see in their own events. They give it back to other people, right? And that's really what carries like the underground. It's like knowing that you're truly about the culture, that you're truly an active participant, someone that does things the quote unquote like right way nowadays, that automatically like will put you into a category. Unspoken, by the way. No one goes around saying, yo, were you part of the underground? Nobody says that. It's like, if you know, you know. It's like Fight Club, bro. Like, if you know, you know. If you don't, yeah, exactly. That's the first way in. If you know what this means, you're good. If you don't, you got a lot of catching up to do, buddy. So that's the first rule. Like, if you're doing things with the right intentions, if you're just dope based on, like, who you are as a person, but also the way you break, maybe, people are going to look at you and think of you in a certain way and give you that like silent seal of approval, you know? Right. And it's like more so now determined by the young generation. Like you were talking about, you know, like H Crew, right? Like they're the ones that if they're at your event, you know, you're doing something right. You know, these are kids, man. They don't got $10,000 to just throw to traveling every year. They got to pick where they go wisely. And if they're pulling up to your event, that's because they determined that your event was worthy of like their time, their presence. And I think that's a huge honor, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah. So how do you think this kind of came about? I mean, it's just not it wasn't on purpose, but because like, okay, so here's a question for, you know, you being part of that generation. Because, you know, a lot of us elders, you know, we preach this foundation on top, we preach footwork, and then the big competition. And this is also, here's the thing, here's the flip side of it. I have old heads, literally old heads. Right? These guys are 50, 49, 50. They're my age, right? Hip hop heads, not even B-boys, right? They're like, I'm not feeling the breaking because all I'm seeing is flipping. Right. And I go, actually, bro, you're only seeing what the media is showing you because these are the companies that are highlighting it, right? Mm-hmm. Then, for instance, I was on this podcast called Changing of the Hip Hop Guard with this guy, Sincere the journalist, and Uncle E. And the funny thing is, Uncle E was really cool with Dumoulin, who was MF Doom.
Oh,
So I told him like, well, you're not seeing the right things. So I sent him a clip of was it Ryan and Canaris? They battled in the footwork. Was that in Doom Room? Was that Ryan or was that Jared?
I don't think that was Ryan. That might have been Jared.
Jared. I showed him that. He's like, yo, who are these guys? These guys are dope. I go, exactly, because you don't see these guys because they're not getting covered.
Facts.
So I was just like, well, this is where I'm trying to play that part. You're going to get to see the things you want to see. It's like, it might not be the truth, because he's older, so he's thinking like, that rock steady style, like straight up beat. But he was like, I dig this because it's not just flips. It's they're feeling the music. Like, I like this. And again, that means the algorithm, he's not picking up on the people that are on this underground circuit. He's only seeing the Pockets and the Sukis and these guys, right? And I'm not hating, and even like, like they'll run into like the big moves, the one with all the views, but then they want to know what's up with who's this. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to follow them now. So I got them to follow like, you know what I mean? Like Canaris and Jared, you know what I'm saying? Or I didn't know it was Jared or Ryan, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he was just like, now he's on the lookout. He's actually looking for him because that's what he wants to see. Right. And these are hip hop heads. These aren't B-boys. They don't have anything to do with the breaking scene, but they already had their own opinion. Right. You know what I mean? And all of them always say it's like, it's not dancing no more. It's power moves. I'm like, damn, like even for you guys. So the question is for you, like, does that have to do with some of it? Like this choice, because it's always the same people winning. Like it's gonna, and there's no hate to Victor. He just won the MZK anniversary, but like, you know what I mean? Do you think this is part of the whole why there's this divide?
It could be. I don't think people go to events to try to avoid other competitors. I feel like if anything, like that's a better opportunity. If you're catching Victor, Somar, and Mod in the finals, like that's a great opportunity whether you win or not, right? Right. Well, I want to say that's what I feel. I'm not sure. Personally, I wouldn't be like, Victor's going to this jam, I'm gonna dodge it. No. Right. Like wherever I want to go, it's based more so on what I know about the event and what I've heard about the event. Okay. All right. Because one thing that we haven't really tapped into yet is word of mouth travels, and it's always traveled, but it's only traveling faster now that the internet exists. Right. Like every person in the jam, in a bracket, in the prelims, they're all part of a group chat profile. And the group chat, y'all better be taking notes. Exactly. The group chat always hears what goes down. If there was beef in the cipher, the group chat's heard about it. Right. If the MC slipped and said some crazy stuff on the mic, the group chat heard about it. Right. If the bracket was manipulated to help the homies out, the group chat shoot. I never thought about that. Yeah. I use Break Connect. Like, shout out to Felix in the chat. That's also, hey, that's a great Break Connect plug. If you want transparency, you want to see what your score was, you want to know why you made it, or if you who made it above you, why? Break Connect, baby. Sign up. Right. But truthfully though, like the group chat travels, and a lot of the people that are the tastemakers nowadays, they're in these group chats and they're influencing, right? Like, for example, Ryan is someone that is my friend, someone that I would consider, I don't want to say directly mentor, but he has definitely passed on his advice and his guidance, and he's helped out my breaking, right? And Ryan will tell us about these events that he's been to in the past, these events that he enjoyed that he recommends, right? So now knowing the information that he has passed on, I'm like, okay, well, Ryan said this was a dope event. Now I want to travel here because now I've heard word of mouth, the review was certified fresh, right? Right. Certified fresh, man. And if I now go to this event, chances are I will now determine an opinion on what I thought of the event. And if it was dope, I'm gonna be like, yo, guys, hit the group chat. Like next year, we got to come out to this event because the after party was tight. The judges were good. Like the vibes were great. The music was amazing. Like that's exactly what carries the underground. It's word of mouth. And now more often than not, people are so determined to like get the most out of their breaking experiences. You know, like breaking is fun, but it's also like the community and the space that you're in with the people that you're sharing it with that really determines like what an event will feel like to you. Because if it's just high level breaking, why don't we all just go to Redbull all the time, right? That's what it is. But that's why we choose the BE jams. That's why we choose 4th of July. That's why we choose the Floristas jams, right? Like because we understand that these are going to be vibes that we're going to feel that we might not feel at these high level breaking events. Okay, see, I was about to go there. I was about to ask that. It's just like,
do you think a lot of these events don't really cater to community?
And I want to go before I answer this question. I just want to say I'm speaking for myself.
Okay.
I've been in the breaking event hosting game for a while, almost
Right.
10 years now. I feel like I have some sort of credibility in the realm. If people don't care to hear my opinion, that's totally fine. My feelings are not hurt, and I'm not out to hurt anybody else's feelings.
Right.
But what I will say is that I feel that a lot of the events that have been grandfathered in to the current day of event schedule, right? Like when you look at the year ahead, there's certain events that are going to happen because they've been grandfathered in. Those events, in my personal opinion, often feel a little bit more of a chore to go to because it feels like a little bit of the love and care that made these events special has kind of rubbed off. And like I said, this is just my opinion. I don't represent my crew in any way. I don't represent Astro Club. This is El Prod from Break NG. Tag it if you want.
Right.
But I feel like the jams that really stand out are the ones where people go above and beyond to make sure that that they love their event. The BE Jam, they got this whole People's Champ bracket, right? Where they determined
really?
these 8 individuals. Yeah, it was really cool. These 8 individuals that they deemed to be some of the most active in terms of community, and in terms of giving back to the community, whether it was events, mentoring, et cetera, et cetera. They picked 8 breakers that have an influential style that put on for their community in terms of events, workshops, classes, et cetera, et cetera. And they put them on a bracket because they wanted to determine who the real People's Champ is. I thought it was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, take a look at it when you get a chance.
Yeah.
There's also like Floor Gang's anniversary, right? The footwork battle. That footwork battle went nuts, man. Like high level all the way through. But what showed it was the fact that you were talking about it on a regular basis. You went as far as giving a speech that went pretty viral in the breaking community that people were like, yo, Profo really cares about this shit. Like, I'm trying to show up to his event and see like what kind of people he's talking about that are doing it the way that Profo approves. Like, when you see stuff like that, you see people passionate about what they do, you are also inclined to support them because you can see like, yo, they really care about this. When there's an event that just posts up a flyer and they do nothing else but just post up a flyer, you're like, yo, if you don't care about this, how am I supposed to care about this?
Damn.
And that's also like what I see a lot happening these days. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be events that I'm sure, regardless of what I say, they're going to continue forever. And they're going to just have their 3v3s every year, their 1v1, 2v2, and it's going to be $4,000 prize. People are going to show up, they're going to win, we're going to clap, we're going to move on. But the ones that people really look forward to are the ones that people talk about the day after the jam, the week after the jam, the month after the jam. Those are the ones that are worth going to, in my humble opinion.
That's dope. Wow, you said a mouthful right there. Holy crap. So, all right. So, okay, for instance, like, like that whole viral thing, I didn't even mean to, someone recorded it. It's like, hey, here's you ranting at the Versus event. Shout out to Baba Rick. Shout out to Steven. Shout out to Bobby V. I was just ranting just because, like, and, some people got mad at me, actually. They're like, you can't tell me how to do footwork. And I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you how to do footwork, but just know that you're not going to get far in my event. That's just, I want to be fair to you, right? Like, I want to be fair to the people that are, because that's another thing, right? That was like, and shout out to Dibs, Prevail, Rith, because we had this, they were the catalyst, because, like, to be transparent, a lot of the footwork events 2022 were not good. They just weren't. I'm not going to name who. But it wasn't just one. If it was just one, I probably wouldn't say anything. But there was this continuous thing that was happening. So we had a discussion on IG, and that was kind of like, well, I better do the Floor Gangs one because it's better to just sit here and complain.
Exactly, always.
And so that was the catalyst of it, and then it became. And the funny thing is, we really concentrated on the footwork, but it ended up the 3-on-3 went hard. Like I was like, holy crap, and. The combined prize wasn't over a G. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't over $1,000. It was just like maybe the three. Yeah. But see, okay, so that's another thing. I think it was funny because when I was in Grand Rapids, some of the, not the main promoter, but the promoter, the co-promoters that actually put the money up were like excited about having a bigger cat because the prize is $2,000 for a one-on-one. Yeah, and Bowsy ended up winning. You know what I'm saying? And I told you there was already 6 other jams going on
Holy moly.
in the Midwest. Like there was one in Chicago, one in Milwaukee, and a few other ones. And yet the co-producers who funded the money, they're not B-boys. They work for the Boys and Girls Club out there, and they're hip hop heads. Mm-hmm. So like we can't wait till we have 10 G's to offer 10 G's. That's what they're talking. They're ambitious. That's good. But I was like, I told them, but it doesn't work like that anymore. No one's gonna come for just the money. Everyone's kind of caught. Yeah. But
not everybody, right?
Right.
Like you have to think about also like there's gonna be 62 crews in prelims. Only one of those crews is gonna get that money. So chances are people are mostly gonna come for the experience, right? Like one jam that I do want to talk about that a lot of people were skeptical about last year leading into it, but then after the event they were like, this is one of the best jams I've ever been to. Vans Jam. Vans in the Circle was, and I'll say this too, it was one of the best jams I've ever been to because they thought it through. It worked out perfectly. Open space. You didn't have to sit next to the stinky B-boys. You could walk away. You had plenty of space to walk away. There was like 8 ciphers. There was like a cipher here, a cipher here, a cipher there, and you could choose your level of cipher. There was like, the kids are ciphering over there. You want to get down with the kids, cool. There was like, oh, this is just a casual cipher. Guys are chilling, sitting, but they're also going in. Then there was like, oh, the heavy ciphers are that way. You could determine where you wanted to be. And if you didn't want to cipher at all, there was free food. You could stand around, eat your Raising Canes. You could have a good time. You could watch the battles. You could sit on a bleacher seat, which was crazy because very few jams have like real bleacher seats. Some people rent like, the 3 aisle one. It's like, all right, guys, there's only 15
or
people.
Blocks, or actually block,
right?
Like big blocks.
Great seating. The production value was immaculate. The talent, the people that showed up for this, incredible. And on top of all of that, it was free. I didn't waste $1. Not once.
Yeah, no, you can't be free, bro.
And they gave out free Vans clothes. It wasn't like a rinky-dink shirt. This was like Vans clothing. Right. You walk away and you're like, yo, this is Vans' first event. Their entire production team went into this without any prior this is how we used to do it, so we got to do it this way. They're like, we're just going to do it. And they did it amazingly. And now everybody is like, yo, I heard about that Vans Jam last year.
Right.
I'm pulling up this year. Season 97, I'm sure somewhere just heard the echo and he's about to come and start advertising.
Actually, where is it? Right here. Boom. Here's boom.
There we go.
He just did it. He just did it. Shout out to C's. So I mean, what we're talking about too right now is the difference between a sponsorship event and one of the local events, which is like, but this is a sponsor event that did it right? Like it was for free. You didn't have to pay. You actually got free food. The seating was good. The production on the stage was good. So everything opposite that we're kind of talking about. Yet it was like, you know what I mean? Like, so you're saying like, if you do have this budget, this is how you should do it.
Exactly. Put love into the details that matter. Because if they give you $15,000 and you're like, yeah, let's put 10K of it to the prize. It's like, okay, you're really taking care of one winner. Maybe 2 winners, right? You split it first and second. Yeah. But what about the rest? The 99% of the population that's attending your jam. Should they feel a little bit of love from this budget too? The answer is yes, that they should. You got money to put some shade up, your jam's outside, do that. Invest in an umbrella or two, man. Take care of the people because those are the people that you're going to count on the following year to show up for your jam.
That's
and if
real.
They're like, yo, I don't want to pull up to this jam. It was stinky. There was no shade. The music was trash. It was like, all right, what are we doing here?
Right. So you feel like I like how you said grandfathered in, like
and like that's what it is. That's what it. And look, for people like me, right, that we're hosting jams that have no okay, Up and Comer does have history now. Now at the 5-year mark, people can look back and be like, this is what Up and Comer is. But when I was first coming in, man, I had to fight tooth and nail for people to believe to give me $100 to accept that I'm going to use their money wisely and put on a good event. Right. And it's like that every year. I have to be like, hey, this is what my sponsorship packet is. This is what you get if you give me this. And I promise you, this is what your money is going towards. I have to do a whole breakdown. But that's me now 5 years in the game. And ideally, I would like to be in a place where someone's like, hey, I know you do good work. Here's a good chunk of money. Take care of your vision because we believe in you, right? And then I see other events, and not to sound like a hater, but I see other events and I'm like, yo, the things that I could do with the money that you got, and you're not
Yeah.
doing it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not going to get my attendance. Not that it matters. You don't go to sleep thinking
Yeah.
about what El Prod's doing. That's totally fine. But
Yeah.
I choose where I get to put my money. And I'm not pulling up to an event where I don't really believe in the product, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, yo, check that out, y'all. Like, you know, for all the promoters that are listening, I hope you're listening. You know, this underground scene is the Yelp breaking. It's like
If you
Yelp.
ever been on Rotten Tomatoes, you watch a movie, right? You watch the newest Spider-Man movie. Shout out to Spider-Man. That was a great movie across the Spider-Man. But you go to the movie, you're like, that was a 5-star movie. What else are people thinking about it? Tomato meter, baby. You can see it right there. 99% of the audience loved it. 85% of the critics. That's essentially what the underground is. You're like, yo, what have you heard about Profo's Pick Jam? I don't know, you know, something random. Right. They're like, yeah, actually, I went last year. It was all right. You know, the DJ actually wasn't that good. And actually, Profo judged and emceed and then also edited the bracket all at the same time. Like, oh, I don't know. It doesn't sound very good. What about the PE Jam? 62 crews showed up. They gave out 385 degrees. They had AC in their little studio. Like, they picked a good day. They didn't clash with anybody else. They invited people. Like, they did a whole social media campaign for it. You're like, huh, that sounds like a pretty good jam. I'm going to try it out next year.
Right.
That's what it is, man. Put some love into what you love to do. And if you're not really about it, I would say the smart thing to do would be to train someone or try to put some of what you've got into someone else's vision. Because chances are there's someone out there that has the right idea, has the right attitude, but they just don't have the funding.
Yeah. They don't have the funding. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. What else can we say about it? So like right now, so for instance, like obviously, I don't know, maybe you could just be very clear about this. So for instance, you had Juicebox and Jervs, who's kind of part of this kind of scene, right? This underground scene. We mentioned Elephant Graveyard. They got picked for the Redbull BC1, like, you know, like regionals, right? Like, you know, like Juicebox went to Florida and then Jervs went to Minnesota. Are there promoters watching? Do you think promoters are paying attention? What do you think it is that or they're being picked? Do you think they're being picked for like the bigger stage? Because, you know, it's like we're not limited obviously to the big stage. We're not dissing the big stage actually at all. Because at this point we're just talking about how do you make a quality event across the board, big and or small. Right. What do you think because it's obviously it's different from Breaking for Gold, right? Breaking for Gold is more like, you know, you get ranked from from what I know, right? I don't know how it is right
There's
now.
There's no invites there. You kind of just have to win your way through.
Yeah.
With Red Bull in particular, listen, I don't honestly knowing Red Bull, I don't think they're watching the up and comer. They're like, oh, these are the guys we got to put on. No. But if they haven't already, I would recommend that they do, because you can take a look at the track record for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
H, for example, just won the regional cypher. He was an up and comer 2 years ago. People wouldn't have known that, right? Like, Jers, for example, great pick. Juicebox just won this year. He made it to 3rd place in Florida. He's going to the USA finals. Like, that's crazy, right? Yeah. There's Kalani. Kalani won his way to the regional as well.
Right.
Kobe was in a regional as well. Like, these are people, like, we don't pick them blindly. We're not closing our eyes, throwing darts, and if it lands, oh, this is the guy, you know? We really think about the process. We take a look at what they're doing, what their trajectory looks like. This is like a plug for up and comer. But ultimately what I'm saying is, like, we make our selections with like the idea that they're going to go farther than this one event. And so far this year, we've looked like Prometheus or something, man, like Confucius. We just saw the future because 5-6 of the guys are really making a lot of noise.
Yeah, man. So do you think, so that was the thing. Like I even said a long time ago, that, you know, because I said once these things happen, right? These like big Red Bull joints, the Breaking for Gold, you know, what is everyone else going to do? Because not everyone wants to be, and not everyone wants to break, you know, like there is that prediction, checkbox breaking. You're going to check boxes, just win. Right. And these guys or girls are the ones that are going to make it farther in the competitions, and it'll throw someone that doesn't really care about, you know, checkbox and just wants to represent might not get past top 16 or whatever, whatnot. And that will put them in a position where it's like, well, I don't want to even go. I'll spectate.
Yeah.
But I don't want to even go. I don't want to like you said. And, you guys were the counter to that. This is the answer. This is basically the answer, right? Because it's like, like now you have a space, like I said before, like even Ice Cube doing his Big Three competition. And I think the NBA doesn't support it or support his league. And he even said, like, kids don't go outside to say, yo, I'm going to play NBA.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
that's very
yeah,
true.
you know what I mean? They go out and play basketball when they play basketball. No one goes like, I'm going to go Redbull BC1. They're going to go like, I'm going to go out and break. You know what I'm saying? And this is no diss to BC1. I'm just saying.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like,
and one thing that I also want to address real quick is that sometimes you hear a lot of the older generation saying, like, the generation these days don't really know what they're talking about. This isn't really like the culture. Things have really changed. And it's like, bro, I'm glad things have changed. Because like, I don't want to show up to like a concrete only jam, pay $15, win $20. Like nowadays it's cool. It's cool to put some production value into your event. Really.
Right.
Like if you show up and you feel taken care of, you can do work better, right? Because if you show up and you're like, oh man, like the floor sucks and the DJ sucks, you're already throwing hurdles at the competitors before the battles have even started.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing, right? Like people aren't even paying attention to stuff like that. They're not paying attention to here's the up and comer right here, just to let you guys know.
Look at that production value.
Yeah, so like good lighting, right? It was at night, it was outdoor. It felt great. Shout out to Kobe. He just won this weekend with Capital, who was actually an up and comer right there. Yeah. Oh, these are the guys who won, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, like people aren't even paying attention to these little details, and yet they offer a certain thing or a certain prize, or they already grandfathered their rep in.
And look, there's people in the older gen like you that are putting in the work to stay current, right? Because the scene shifts from one weekend to the next. 100. Someone could win something crazy and like unspokenly their stock has gone up. Yeah. Now people consider them differently. Like that's how quickly the scene moves. If you're dormant for 6 months at a time and you only pop out for your own events or maybe your friends' events and you only go to 3 events a year, like you're doing yourself a disservice, like the community moves fast. There's some people out there you can say like, yo man, like who are some of the new guys that you think are really killing it that could be the face of breaking? Or like an up and comer, right? Let's say, who are some up and comers you're looking at? I've literally had an older person tell me Zeku. Bro, Zeku's been here for years. Yeah. He's not the new guy anymore. He's the guy.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know.
He's here. Yeah, he's present. Yeah, he's present.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really, really got to think about how an active participant should be. And if you are an active event promoter, host, like do your due diligence to stay current. Especially if not the national scene, totally fine. At least your own community. Don't put on people that were relevant when you were relevant, bro. Like, come on. Like, really, people are trying to go to.
I'm gonna put Bboy Reveal.
No, but see, even Reveal's a great example. He shows up to events. He's a spectator. He knows who's dope right now. If you were here, I would bring him on and be like, yo, tell me right now, who are some people that you think are dope? He would talk about people that are active and dope right now.
Right.
Reveal's a great example. I'm glad you brought him up. He's an active participant. That's why when he judges, people are like, okay, yeah, I've seen Reveal. He's around, But I don't know if you get like Bboy McGriddle from 1992. It's like, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Right. Yeah, I hear it. So we're about 43 minutes in.
I think we need to react to some H clips, man.
I was about to segue, but real quick before we do that, thank you, because as I'm setting everything up, is there anything you want to say more about this underground scene, or we talked a lot about promoting and stuff like that. Is there anything you want to say to the audience out there, like what to look forward to, and any predictions, what you would like to see in the future?
I would like to see new promoters, man. I'd like to see people that have an idea, that have a passion for their idea, come up and like at least talk to people to try to get their idea rolling. Like funding is available, and this is something I've always wanted to talk about. Funding isn't as crazy as people make it seem. If you have a really high budget idea, maybe that would be a little bit harder. But your average jam, a local jam, doesn't cost as much as you think. And there's ways to get it done. And one of those ways is to talk to people that believe in what you're doing and be like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to get there. Can you contribute a little bit? You know, right. Even me as Break NG, I can and will be willing to support events in the future. I have no problem doing that. I don't want to be the only event in San Diego every year from here on out. No way. I want to compete in my own city. I don't want to have to travel out for an event because, oh, Break NG is San Diego events and that's it. No, if there's anybody out there that has any great event ideas, run them by me. I would love to hear it and I would love to help you because I'm not the be all end all. I'm not Cross One. I'm not, I'm not the head of Redbull, but I am LProd. And I do believe in people's passionate ideas. So if you've got an idea, let me know. I'd love to help you out. And, hey, if you haven't subscribed to Pro41's YouTube channel, what are we doing? What are we doing, right? Come on.
Yes, sir. All right, real quick, we're going to go to the chat. We're going to try to race through these. All right, so H says, LProd, you're so well spoken. Word. Izzy says he's spitting though. All right. We got Donkey, fellow streamer, but this time he's on Twitch. He says the truth.
That's love.
Felix says MZK was pretty fire. Dope. Hell yeah. Papa Rick says we will do better next time. You already did great, guys. Like, yeah, for real.
They killed it, man.
Vinzel says, hell yeah, LProd. I met you a year ago. Mad love.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you for tuning in, man.
Yeah, man. Let's go to C's. All right, real quick. He has he says something. Red Bull uses a consultant they hire or have internally that acts as a guide. A heavy part is networking, hence why the local jams matter, since people are publicity voicing their own opinion on the jam quality. Okay,
I have heard that. I don't know any of the consultants personally, but I have heard
that. H. June says, about time, or you want us? Guess what? We're about to watch this stuff. H. June says, falling asleep. This ain't TikTok, bro. There's no reason to make it controversial, man. There's no
the haymaker.
Nikki Q says LProd is an icon. Damn. And then Fergal says, yeah, small things matter. All right.
Nikki Q smoked me really long ago, and he scarred me forever. So
damn.
That's Nikki Q, man.
Damn. All right. So we're about to go to this the other part of the show, because this is the trades part. Obviously, H, this is directly to H. This is why the trades, the demographic is male and 45 and up. That's the trades. Now we're going to go to the Bboy Network, which is a younger demographic, where we're going to watch clips. So we're going to watch this Red Bull East final, right? And we're going to start with the B girl. Sorry, H, you got to wait more. Here's the thing. You can watch on this channel. I didn't necessarily predict the people that won. I just gave my ranking knowing the judges and guesstimating how they were going to judge. And my top picks were Jaina and Mantis as far as the B girl. And I said H, Task, and Mach 5. I talked a lot. I gave the odds of Mach 5 winning. And I gave the odds of Task. But I said ultimately H was the top of the list. I even said because he's big on TikTok. I even threw that in the mix. I threw that in the mix. And you could look on the channel. You could look at the live. You could go. I did it last week. All right.
He's big on TikTok, but he's big in my heart, bro.
All right.
Yo, I had Wiz, Mach 5, and Valencia. That was my final three. That's what I thought the placing would be. And Wiz and Mach 5 made it. H surprised me, actually. But
I went by the judges because I knew who the judges were.
That's totally
I was like,
fair.
I gave stats on what the strengths, the likelihood of the judge voting for you.
Okay.
I don't know. What would be crazy is if we can go back to that video and see the calls. And if I'm super exact, then I'm Nostradamus, bro. But
that'd be hard.
But as far as just ranking, and that's the thing. So when I did the Minnesota one, I didn't know who the judges were.
Okay.
So I couldn't really judge it on that. These are the strengths of each competitor. When Josh gave me the judges, I was like, okay, now we have something. And that's the thing. No one ever considers the judges. They always go, this guy's this dope or this girl's this dope and this. Nah, it doesn't matter, because if that judge doesn't care about power, and you're screwed, dude, no matter how talented you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. So up first, we're going to watch this B-Girl final. We have Mantis and Jenna. So we got New York versus Las Vegas. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, Mantis is from New York. So.
Yes. Okay with the burn.
Hit him with the Harlem Shake. That's it. That's right.
All right, we're going to pause it right there real quick. We're going to do something a little bit different.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to analyze it. We're going to analyze it round for round instead of, just like, commentating through it. So the highlight is, like I said, so Jenna is Jaina. Shout out to Josh. He's correcting me. I say data too, and data. Okay. Just, you all know who I'm talking about. So she's obviously trained in competition. She has a very competition style of breaking, right? And then coming from schools in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
The difference, and Mantis being a little older, and she is a student of Quick Step and Rockefeller, part of the Full Circle family. A little bit more of a freestyle raw-ish, even though she has rounds. That's what stood out to me in that first round, right? Like Jaina is very precise. Mantis has that little bit more of a freestyle feel. What do you think of that first round? So for me, I haven't made a decision. That's just what I'm calling out. How about for you, El?
Presence. It was all presence, man. Mantis came in. Well, first of all, it's New York. You're battling New York, essentially. That's what it is. The whole crowd is behind her. But on top of that, like, she was very much in the pocket the entire time. She used her spacing very well. She went from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen, traveling with her head swipes, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that, there was levels to what she was doing. Like, It wasn't all one consistent flow. She was going up and down. She was adding freezes. That knee spin was a highlight. Dead center on the logo, that's going to be tough to beat, man, especially when you have like a predetermined flow maybe in your head when you're coming in, like, oh, this is the points that I want to hit, right?
These are the things I talked about, actually. And again, if we're looking, the judges were Victor, Jigs, and Candy. Candy being MZK, student of Ken Swift, who was part of Break Life. So of course she's going to look at that as a factor. Same as Jigs. Jigs being an elder, likes that kind of freestyle flow.
Right.
So to me, that's already 2 against 1. And they both executed. That's the thing. They both executed.
They did.
They both no one fell. And that's why I said in the pre-show from last week, I said, I'm going to assume everyone on 100% excellent execution. Yeah. These are the factors. So I want the audience to really pay attention to this. And I'm glad you said that's New York. Yeah. So this is going to be factors too. She has home court advantage.
Of course.
No one. Okay, chat. Tell me why no one puts this into consideration. This is what I want to hear from the chat. Why does no one put that? You only look at the skill set. Why? And this, because I want the viewers to learn how to judge and understand their environment before they enter a competition. All right, chat. Tell me why you guys don't put this into consideration. And till that, we're going to watch the rest of this battle. Let's go. pause it right there real quick. Stop sharing real quick. Okay, so that last round, like, okay, again, for a finals, they're executing. No one's falling on their face.
Not at all.
They actually don't look tired. And Mantis is a little bit, you know what I mean? She's a little bit, you know, she's a little bit older.
Of course.
So again, we're going by what sticks out to you, because I think this is a good learning lesson for everyone out there, especially if you're younger. Because I'm going to say most of the young people are not going to get how, you know, Mantis is kind of in the lead according to those judges.
Right.
So El Prod, can you tell the young people that are watching?
Well,
what do you think, like the factors of it?
Well, the first thing was, I mean, this is a Red Bull competition. Nobody's expected to be like the musicality genius, right? But Mantis walks in there. The first thing she does, she plays with that music for at least 2 8 counts. She's present. She's in the moment. The DJ is not invisible to her, which is great. That already lets me know, like, okay, she's thinking about what's happening right now, not what she came in with before she got here. What's happening right now. And on top of that, she should, because Jaina, in this situation, I feel like Jaina has really good like moves, right? She's got the moves, the highlight Red Bull worthy moves. Mantis proved that she could do that as well, hitting her with the stack, the freezes, the head spin, like the stuck freeze there at the end. And on top of that, she hit her with the same footwork flows that you could see from Jaina. So she was essentially challenging Jaina to be better than she usually is to beat Mantis. And Jaina came correct with the response. But in my opinion, because I felt that Mantis was a little bit playing more into the foundational aspect of things and listening to the music, I would have sided Mantis up until this point.
Right. Same. I'm glad. Yeah. So you have a young person talking for me, not just me, because they'll be like, Profo, of course, that's what you like. That's your preference, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you know what? There's someone young that has the same opinion, right? And here's the thing. It's not like, you know, you're like this super foundational and I only do footwork. Nope. Nah, you like to do everything. You know what I'm saying?
Never going to catch me in a footwork battle, bro. I know my place.
All right. Here we go. Last round. Here we go. Let's see if they give the votes. Let's see if they give the votes. Let's see. 4, 3, 2, 1. They didn't get the votes though. They didn't get the votes.
Yo, they were talking in that last round. They were talking back and forth. That's what you want to see, right? Like Mantis slowed down a little bit at the end.
I was about to say that. That was the thing that I saw. It was the whole thing is like, you know, Jenna doing her thing. She was like, she executed stronger than Mantis did. Yet, we both agree that we think that was 2-1, if anything. If anything.
Yeah, that's how it was 2-1. 2-1.
Yeah.
Because Jaina responded with the same length of a hold on that freeze, too. She was like, you want to take a picture with these freezes? It went back and forth. If I had a camera, I could have had like the chance to hold it, frame it, look at it, click the button, and they would have still been holding that freeze.
And I think Jaina athletically has the advantage being a little bit younger, and because it's not so freestyle-y,
Yeah.
You could just train it to just hit on the mark no matter what. But that was a detriment too, because the problem is, even though she's okay, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me carefully. Even though she's doing different moves, she's doing the same flow with the same rhythm. That, and like you said, the music was almost invisible.
Right. And I mean, when you're going in, like if you're the Lakers walking into Madison Square Garden, you're playing against the Knicks, but you're also playing
against the Garden. Yeah, you're playing against the Garden.
That's what I'm saying. So Jaina came in there, she did her thing, she completely represented, and I think she looked strong regardless. But I do think Mantis she did everything right. Mantis did everything she needed to do to beat Jaina, you know. Great final though. I hadn't even seen this clip before.
Me neither. That's why Josh hit me up. You want to do a reaction? Have you watched any of the battles? Like, no, actually, I haven't watched any of the battles. He's like, okay, maybe you could do it. So this is a perfect, that was both of us. We didn't watch it, so it was like a natural reaction. And again, what we're doing the Daniel Zhu style commentary where we're not actually talking because we want you to hear the music. Because if we're talking, you might miss. Maybe there was like a slight nuanced beat, you know what I mean, horn that we can't hit, and then we're talking over. Oh, Halo! Like it's like it's breaking moves too fast. As shout out to Scribes from UK, he's like commentary should be like this because breaking moves too fast. We just have to explain what happens after. Exactly. All right, chat. What do you think, Josh? Did you put up a poll? Let's see if I don't know if you put up a poll. I can't tell. Let me know if you did. But so check this out. Now we're gonna come to what H was waiting for the last hour.
Can I request first we start off with his top 8 battle against Pop? I did watch that one. That's the one that I watched.
Okay. All right. So we have a guest request. I was gonna wait for H to ask.
H versus Pop.
Was that the first battle?
That was his top 8. His first battle was against For Real, which, by the way, I am a huge supporter of For Real and the Knucklehead Zoo kids. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be something crazy. They just haven't had that chance yet, but once they get it, y'all watch out. Clip it right now. I'm saying it. The Knucklehead Zoo kids are going to be a problem.
Yeah, I didn't watch the battles, but I might assume, and this is no disrespect, it's almost the same situation as Jenna. Almost the same situation as Jenna. Like, they understand how to compete. Mm-hmm. They know how do I freestyle in and out, kind of like what Mantis did. Like, she has her moves, but how do I bring the true feeling, like let go of like, you have to be in the moment and do something different, then come back. You know what I mean? Like, that's a difficult situation. And speaking of which, we're gonna go to that in the finals. But since we have El Prod asking if we can
Pop is like the East Coast H almost. Not in the same direct way, but like I think of them in the same regard. These guys are crazy. I've got amazing moves. I've got nothing for them. What am I doing? I'm not going to pretend like I do, but I wanted to see them do it. And then when I watched it, I got everything that I was looking for. I was pleased.
So I haven't watched it yet.
Exactly.
And I know
your reaction.
I think Pop is watching too. I believe Pop requested, he wanted to know what I thought.
Nice. Here we go.
So let me look for this. Where is that? It's top 8.
Yeah, top 8. Top H.
Semis. Where is that? So I'm looking. That's top 16. So yeah, and I said on the live last week, I said whoever has Pop first round, you better throw everything against
Gravity, and he beat him.
Clean. Oh, did he?
Gravity went to the prelim. I was shocked, dude, because I was like, Gravity, do you need to be here? Wouldn't you just get a U.S. direct invite to the finals? I don't know. Well, whatever. He lost in top 16 to Pop. Shout out to Pop, man. He really killed it.
Shout out to Pop. All right, so let's watch this battle against Pop. I'm gonna let this battle play out, okay, and then we'll give our opinions, okay? Because is it 1 round or 2 rounds?
2.
It's 2 rounds. Okay, so we're gonna watch this, and then
I need these sunglasses because it's about to be some heat.
We're gonna analyze the H versus Mach 5 battle, but we're just gonna let this run, and then we're gonna just give our opinions after. So here we go. And where's the volume? Yo.
That was
Okay.
that was heat right there.
Okay. All right. Here's the analyzation. I'll go first. Shout out to Pop. He's watching. Yeah. We got H and Pop watching. And as you know, Uncle Profo's talking right now, so don't take nothing personally. One of the biggest things about, I'll start with Pop, is that he has, obviously, from that street hitter style, like catch himself. Yo, throw anything at him, he could catch it. You know what I'm saying? Catch it, catch it, catch it, catch it, catch it. That's a super strong skill set to have. The problem is the opposite what I was saying with Jaina and them, is that it's competition ready. H has a competition ready style to go. There's like exact intent. And the challenge of these competitions and challenge of breaking, the tradition is to be freestyle. That's what we say. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't always work in competition. That's the truth of the matter. And I think that's the only thing that was the difference between Pop and H. That was the only difference. There was, H did trademark battle ready moves. Pop did Pop, freestyled and caught himself into these amazing angles that, let's be real, not a lot of people could do in the world. I will give you that, Pop. I don't know a lot besides your cousin, besides Damien. You're that dude. You're that dude. But the problem is, it's almost like there's reasons why when LL Cool, this is on some old school hip hop shit. When LL Cool J battled Cannabis, there's a reason why LL Cool J is LL Cool J and Cannabis is Cannabis. Or there's the best freestyle rapper in the world, Supernatural, the best freestyler, but it's like you have to create stuff that the crowd can respond to.
Right.
And that's what makes that's why I don't like competition, because then I have to pick what I like better. And it's not as, and that, because that right there was subjective judging.
Right. Of course. 100%.
That was subjective judging.
Yeah, dude.
That was like, they both executed. They both did some, not like me and this guy, we can't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, no way. Not even close.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I like that I got what I expected. H wasn't trying to do no footwork flows. He wasn't trying to hit you with something he hasn't done before. You see H versus Pop. What are you expecting? A treat.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah, no, we. Yeah, 100.
Yeah, and that was a banger. I could imagine being in the audience and being like, "I've never seen breaking before. This is the first battle I see. This is crazy. I want to keep coming back to see stuff like this." Redbull should have put that in a commercial. That would have been crazy. That's the perfect Redbull style. Both of them right there. And honestly, I think what you said is correct. H has really high level rounds, and they kind of have this feeling of more. They feel more complete just because he takes advantage of the idea of levels, textures, and it might not be as obvious as some of people's favorite b-boys, but when he's sliding and then going up and doing a crazy flip, holding a freeze, and then going down and collapsing into power, all that stuff is important versus just like you said before, one whole continuous flow. Because Pop didn't touch the ground once. He was not in a negative
besides
way.
The footwork. Besides the footwork.
He was stacking. But then it's okay, what else? I saw H do this similar stuff, but then he hit the floor on the 10 million view Fortnite flip. We love to see it. That's my favorite thing. This guy's back is going to need some work.
Again, what we're talking about, if Jaina is battling New York, Pop was battling TikTok. Come on! 1.5 million followers on TikTok. Hey, you're battling that. You're battling. Look, I don't care what OG says. It's about the skill, kid. No, not at this point. It's not about the skill. When you're fighting Muhammad Ali, you're not just fighting Cassius Clay from Louisville, Kentucky. You're battling. You're fighting freaking Elijah Muhammad. You're fighting all these guys. You're fighting the rep. That's just the truth. You're fighting the rep at this point. KRS-One is wrong. It's not. It's marketing and promotion. It's not just skill. And until everyone like understands that, like you've been sold a lie, kids. You've been sold hip hop. That old hip hop is about skills. It's a lie when everyone's good. You got to have some type of advantage. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Let me see. Get some TikTok. She says. She says, "Let me get some TikTok money." Actually, the TikTok money is not that great. Let's be real. No. It's not that great. But it's good, but it's not that great.
It was that great. That was worth the money that I didn't pay to get in. So, popping H, man, they really, really killed.
Bro, that if I was like, wait, do I got it here? Do I got it here? Let me see.
By the way, that New York cipher in general was super stacked, man. Valencio was there. You had Gerson there. You had Pop. H.
I dubbed that clip we just watched was the Break Connect clip of the day. Like, Break Connect clip of the day. That was the Break Connect clip of the day. Shout out to Felix.
Your favorite event at breakconnect.com today.
All right. Okay, we're totally feeding H's ego right now because now we're gonna check out the finals, right? We got Mach 5 versus H, and this is the whole thing I talked about. Again, my receipts are online. I didn't call the finals. I called the strongest. Yeah. Pop was in there. Yeah, I know you were watching, Pop. You know I gave you your props.
I will say, before we get into this, Mach 5 was supposed to be an up-and-comer this year. But he just got the email sent to his spam, so he never responded.
Wow.
So, hey, we know how to pick up.
There you go. All right, we're going to watch this final. Now, before we watch it, I'm going to say this. So, you know, this is infamously from the Silverback Open 2018 commentary. Contrast of styles, right? Contrast of styles. On the live stream last week, I talked about the challenge of Mach 5 in this competition is that he's going to have that kind of improv style that everyone loves in New York. And everyone just loves, period. The problem is the repeat factor is high. So here, again, I don't know if he did these moves prior or not. I don't know anything. Mm-hmm. I'm just watching I'm just judging it. I'm just doing the commentary on the finals, and we're going to just analyze the rounds.
Cool.
And H, again, he has a competition style of breaking where it's like it has a freestyle look, yet he knows when to throw, when he has to throw. He could execute it pretty much 95% of the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The likelihood of Mach catching himself, just like Pop, is higher than H. But the likelihood of hitting hard and clear communication of I'm burning you is H. You know what I mean? That's the contrast. So we're gonna watch this final. All right. Here we go. The finals. The Redbull BC1 New York. We're gonna pause it right there. Boom. I'm gonna go to you first, El Prime.
That was kind of easy, man. It was hot. Okay. How do you do it? What can I say about H? So H, he had the backspin, and then it almost like he did everything in reverse. But I would say his round was a little bit short.
Okay.
He got his point across, but it was short. I don't know how the rest of the battle plays out, but from what I could see, Mach 5 was locked in, and like you said, he was catching everything. That Air Baby switch twice both sides is crazy. Just doing it once is like, okay, that's impressive. But going back, forth, hey man, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't have those kind of moves. So watching that, knowing how difficult that is, that's really crazy. And I mean, on top of that, he included some footwork. He was present with the music. I thought Mach took that round. In my opinion, I would have given that to Mach 5 if it was just a one-round battle.
All right. So for me, here's the thing. The challenge of freestyle is how do you trim the fat?
True.
And that's the thing about H. Again, freestyling has a lot of fatty parts in it. That's the only problem with freestyling. The problem with freestyling is there's a lot of fatty parts, and do you have the personality to make whatever you do, even if it's a fatty part, where you're captivating everyone? That's a very difficult skill set. That's a very difficult skill set. And there was one transition that Mach did, even though it passes, compared to like H's, well, you said short but direct and sharp both directions and clear.
Crazy.
There was 2 moments right now we saw with Mach, and it's not bad. He went from a stack to a head freeze and turned his head. His elbow went like this, but it wasn't clear. It's not even just the direction thing. Like, to me, it's not just facing the guy, but it was just like, let me go here.
Okay.
That is dope. But against a guy like H, you can't be just like, no, there shouldn't be no fat in your battle, in your round. Everything should be lean muscle. Like, if that's the best way I could put it. That's the best way I could put it, right?
So would you go H? Would you go H?
I would go H.
Okay.
I would go H.
Right.
All right. It's the finals, bro.
That's true. Hey, that's really true.
It's the finals, man. All right.
Play that round too.
Yes, play there. Yeah, let's play the rest. Hold on. Yeah, let me rewind it a little bit. We missed a bit. My bad. My bad. Hold on. We're going to rewind a little bit just because you missed the answer. Oh, why is it? Okay, that's it. Okay. Okay, so now that was a little bit different. That was a little bit different. I'm going to talk first about this one.
Yeah.
This is where stamina comes into play. You know, H had that little mini air baby burn into his roll. The 2000 was dope, and then he kind of caught like, ugh. It was kind of a struggle coming down. And that, you know, then the momentum started to go down. Now, this is where, even though there was a moment for Mach 5 that happened where it was kind of like he went up, he went from the 90 down to the stack, and it was kind of like, yet because of his style, the freestyle essence of it, he could play that off as a stylish thing, throw character, go out of it, and then come back into it. So for me, Mach 5 actually had that round.
Interesting. I thought because that was the meat, right? You wanted to trim the fat. He had the meat right there, but he slipped it. I couldn't tell from this angle, but it looked like he didn't catch it very well. And
Not
it was
5 or H
combo. Mach, because he did the flare 90 or walkover.
Yeah.
All of that, I was about to say, whoa, that's crazy. And then like he slips out of it. I think he goes to a chair, and then H calls crash, and he like, you can tell he's shaking at that point because he's like tapping the floor. I thought he kind of broke composure a little bit. And even though that was not my favorite H round of all time, I thought it was a little bit better than what I saw from Mach personally.
All right, so we're both disagreeing.
Hey,
I give one for H. I give one for H, one for Mach. I got 1-1. You too, but opposite.
Opposite. Yeah.
Old man versus young man right here. Give us a score, guys.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna watch this we're gonna watch the last round of the, let's see what the judges saw. You know what I'm saying? All right, right here. Boom. Okay. And play. Okay. All right.
It's
This
funny
time I'm
because
gonna have you go first. I want you to go first.
So we know
Yeah.
what the call was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought Mach 5 had it until he didn't. Like he had it in the bag had he kept going. And then he just like gets up and calls it a day. But I will say he had like it was like this, man. I was like, Mach got robbed, and then he ended, and I was like, no, he didn't. So, in my opinion, I could see why H won. I think up until the point where Mach cut it short, I would have given it to him. But then I was like, like that was it. He just did what he had been doing the past 2 rounds with nothing to add to it.
Right.
It was just a lot of what we had already gotten. H was still delivering competition-ready rounds, footwork, transitions, even though they were both relatively tired and you could see it.
Yeah.
I still think H had a more complete round.
All right. Let's like you brought up something very strong. How come the Bboy battle, their stamina was better than the guys' battle? You know what I mean? Like,
I think they only started from top 8 though.
Right. Oh, true. You have a point.
Yeah.
You have a point. Because they both look strong. There was like only one point that Mantis kind of slowed down. Versus this one was a little bit more obvious, right?
Right.
There was definitely slowdowns and like, this is the finals and like I said, like I think, with H even battling Pop earlier and just that strong ass thing. Remember, there's such thing as recency bias. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That will play a factor in the judge's thought process because we saw him be strong the whole time.
Yeah.
The problem again, the challenge of being a freestyle B-boy is that it's almost like a run-on sentence. There's fat, and you have to make it. If you're gonna freestyle and then just lock something hard, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Lock that freeze in your face the hardest you can. Nothing, even if you're shaking the whole time, at least the recency bias is like, whoa, he did some crazy, freestyle into that hard last round. And versus like, while H was going for it the whole way and he was getting tired. Like he did the air baby. And can we say that might have been twice he did the air baby? Like he started his round, the first round, second round, and then third round he does the air baby, and then slips into the chair. You know what I mean?
He was hitting jackhammers though at the start of his third round.
So that's another thing that played a factor. It showed that he was strong in his third round.
Yeah. And
here's some advice for y'all that are watching that want to compete. Remember, your strongest rounds should be your first and last rounds. Because again, recency bias. You know what I mean? There's like that's the most recent thing. Judges see that. If you can end strong, they're like, dang, this guy has stamina, or this girl has stamina. You know what I mean? And these all play factors. Now, how to develop that's a different story, but I could give a shout out to Mach 5 and H. Like, again, best battle was H versus Pop so far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That was the best battle. Again, that was where is it? Where's my thing? I need Break Connect clip of the day.
There you go.
That's the Break Connect clip of the day. But
Are you gonna do the predictions for the USA finals?
I'm thinking about it. I think I have to talk to Josh about it. You know what I mean?
Hey, Josh, you got it right here.
I mean, my whole thing is I told Josh, be the best thing to do is to actually do it right after we know the lineup.
Well,
That would be the best.
The invites haven't been released, but the winners from all the ciphers have been.
No, I'm saying like the brackets are done. You know how they do the brackets? Then do the show right when the black brackets are announced. That would kind of be like the best situation to make the best predictions. Because again, the Minnesota one I didn't predict too much because I couldn't give I could only give stats on the competitors, but not the stats of the judges. This time I was able to give the stats of the judges and the competitors. So that gave a clear like path, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right. How'd you feel about today's show, man? We hit 1:30, so that's good. Like we didn't go over that. It was fun, right? It was dope.
I mean, hopefully people liked it. Hopefully I'm not up here looking like a fool. But hopefully, on top of all of this, people get a new understanding of what the scene looks like these days from someone that's very active. On both ends, as a competitor and as an event promoter. So,
yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. Like, you know, we're not just trying to get like, you know, the people that you already like, you know, the big names and breaking. This is community, you know, this is the B-Boy network. This is the trades where it's just like I interview old people, but you know, it's my job in the breaking scene that I put myself out there. I still build and break bread with y'all. You know what I mean? The younger generation and hopefully guide everyone and give you guys out there who are watching perspective on like, you know, the challenge is that everyone has nostalgia glasses and their own preference. And the best way to learn is if you could take away that preference and see the bigger picture and see where do I fit in this bigger picture, because some things aren't going to fit or not. And at the end of the day, we are community. Doesn't matter who wins or loses. That doesn't matter at the end of the day. It matters that we're all in this together, like creating a scene that can thrive for all of us. You know what I mean?
Also, one last thing. I see that comment from C's saying, should the community develop a blacklist for judges? I don't necessarily think so, but I do think as a promoter, you know what you're going to do with your money. If you work 40 hours a week at your 9 to 5, you scrape together these like $400, $500 to pay a judge, make sure you pay for someone whose decisions you can stand behind. If someone comes up to you like, yo, bro, this guy showed up drunk. This guy missed a whole 3 battles because he, you know, was peeing outside and nobody could find him. And then you're at the end of it all, you're like, and at the end of it, he called 7 ties throughout the day, had no opinion on anything. He just had vibes up here. It's like, all right, you know, spend your money wisely. That's all I'm going to say. If that's your homie, make sure you know your homie's doing the right thing prior to the event, during the event, and after the event. That's it. No blacklist, because I feel like blacklists are not productive towards the community. But I do think we should develop a system where people can rate judges after the event is over. If I go to a jam and I'm like, hey, this judge was like drunk. This judge made the whole event run late because nobody could find him. I want to be able to go home and be like, this guy got 2 out of 5 stars. And that way people can move forward and know, hey, this guy's maybe not the best guy to hire. I already floated this idea to Felix and he said maybe. So, hey, break connect, baby.
Yeah, just to beat off what Caesar's saying. There is such thing as the breaking Illuminati, and they do have this list already. I'm not saying who's in it. Yeah, that's deeper than the underground. Okay, I don't care. You know, okay, I'll say this, and you know what? If any of the Illuminati front me, you know, just say I'm not gonna reveal names in the Illuminati.
I know a few. I know who you're talking.
You know what I mean? But there is such thing as a gold list of judges. There's such thing as silver, and there's such thing as bronze list. I'm on the bronze list. In the bigger world scale of things, right. I've been told you're a bronze list. I'm like, okay. The bronze list is we won't fly you out, but if you're in the vicinity, we'll get you.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? You guys already know on the worldwide scale, besides the trivium system and stuff like that, you already know because you've seen them over and over and over again.
Of course.
They're judging over and over and over again. The international events. So yes, there's such thing as a list already. Sorry to like spoil it sorry, Illuminati. But I'm not part of y'all, so that's why I could talk about it.
They're about to get this whole stream shut down.
I know, right? You know, you haven't drunk enough blood yet. Okay, technically, in the BFG series, you could pay a claim against judges. Goes through, they can lose their certification.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. Good for them. But don't they have to pass a test to be part of the Breaking for Gold judges panel?
Yeah, I think so. I think
like the SATs and breaking or something like that.
I mean, that's. I think I don't know what the WDSF is using now, but it was prior to that was the Trivium, right? Where you do have to take a test. I don't know what it is now. I don't know if they still use Trivium or not. I need to talk to DJ Renegade and Storm about that. But that's what one of the tests you have to do.
One of the funniest things I've heard all year is regarding some of the people that I heard didn't pass the test. I'm not going to put that out there.
Damn.
Okay. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny.
Damn.
You've been breaking for how long? You can't pass a breaking test? That's crazy.
All right. Donkey says, not a fan of the B-Boy and Illuminati. I like those guys. They're fun.
I'm a fan of Donkey, though. I used to watch him a lot growing up.
Yeah,
so
bro.
He's watching this.
Oh, yeah. And then B-Boy Network says, B-Boy Network is the bronze, silver, gold for media. All right. All right.
I think he's asking. I think there is.
Is there a bronze for media? I mean, let's not talk about it here, but we can talk about behind the scenes, right?
The underground for breaking. Come on, guys. We're going to do the underground for media in a different episode.
All right. And yes, they pay money. All right, cool. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure you're talking about Donkey, but shout out to Donkey. Check him out on Twitch. Yeah. I think he's one of the only B-boys on Twitch doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
wasn't Chaotic on Twitch for a long time?
Well, I mean, doing like the commentary thing, watching it, like you know what I mean, like like watching videos, like Chaotic is one of the biggest guys in Twitch as far as his market, but he's just like actually live streaming like wherever he goes. You know, yeah. He's not just like Donkey specifically does what we reacted and commentated.
Oh,
right? All right. So before we sign you out, El Prod, is there anything you guys say to the audience out there?
You know, I think I've said maybe too much up to this point. So don't let anything that I say sway your opinions on the things I'm affiliated with. And of course, as always, keep breaking your ground. Breaking G's got some great stuff coming down the pipeline. Can't wait to share it with everybody.
There you go. And you can follow him on Instagram under Elprod. What's your handle?
_ Elprod. Or if you don't love the way I break and you don't like watching me, that's totally fine. Please follow Break NG. We do a lot of different stuff there at Break NG.
Yeah. At Break NG.
Yeah.
And of course, you can follow me on Instagram at PROFO_FLGZ. This has been the Trades.
Yeah.
The Trades / B-Boy Network Reacts with El Prod. Talking about the Underground and the Redbull BC1 East Coast Cypher. I just want to say thanks for everyone watching and see you next week. Stay on when I get off. Peace. And see you guys later.
Oh, that was crazy.
Boom.